Welcome to the Hunt Fish Travel Podcast. I am your hostess, Carrie Z. Before we jump into today's episode, just a quick reminder that our sponsor for this episode is Spy Point Trail Cameras. You know how I am. Watch for Trail Cam Tuesday. I get a lot of weird stuff on my lease, and I'm not sure what to do about it, but I love watching all the deer and the possums and the raccoons and the people and the cats on my trail camera. So be sure to check out Spy Point Trail Cameras. I am a big fan. And also Montana decoys, because I don't hunt with anything else, and turkey season is coming, and they are the best decoys in the business. Anyhow, I am on the line with Eric Clark, fellow Wisconsinite, who is doing amazing things in the podcast and video sphere. He is making a lot of moves, and we recently both had a booth at the Wisconsin Dells Open Season Sportsman's Expo, which used to be the Deer and Turkey Expo. And we're just going to kind of go over the show, thoughts, overviews, and then we're going to talk about what he's got going on and some amazing things. So you're going to want to listen all the way through to the end, because I can't wait to talk about his network. So Eric, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks. Happy to be here. Good morning. Happy Friday. Let's do this. It's been a minute. We podcasted in the past. It's been a while.
It has. And so even I mentioned to Aaron, I'm like, he only lives like 20 minutes from us. He's like, that's crazy. The amount of people in Wisconsin that podcast or are doing outdoor shows, or I'm like, I know, it's amazing. Let's start off with explaining to the listeners who you are. I mean, I know I gave a brief overview, but tell them your history with podcasting and video and everything you have going on.
Yeah, no, it's been interesting. I've started podcasting in 2013, a long time ago, and honestly had no clue what I was doing. And that continues to be the theme, because the more I do, the more I arrive in places that I've not been and continue to not know what I'm doing. But some of that stuff is kind of compounded, and in 2020 did a rebrand. What was the Where to Hunt podcast got kind of morphed into the Okayest Hunter podcast, and what was the Where to Hunt app got turned into the Outland Hunting app. And so those two things are completely separate, two different business entities. And Okayest Hunter is definitely striking a chord in the hunting and outdoor community. It seems to be highly relatable to most people that hunt in some capacity. We are very self-deprecating, and we laugh at ourselves quite a bit, not with ourselves, and other people can kind of follow along. And it's been a really enjoyable kind of thing to make it a little bit more lighthearted. So yeah, there's a podcast and a show on YouTube and Carbon TV now, and then we have merchandise, and we're kind of just starting to build a podcast network now. So yeah, it feels like a lot, and it is, but it's fun, and I enjoy it, so it doesn't feel too bad.
That's cool. Very, very cool. Well, let's talk about the Sportsman's Expo. Again, it used to be the Deer and Turkey Expo in Madison. And then they took it over, and Bonnier just, I don't know, talk about like taking something and remolding it into something that's 100 times more amazing. What was your overall thoughts of the show?
Well, I think it was pretty good. We exhibited last year for the first time, and last year, I've gone to the Deer and Turkey Expo when it was in Madison as just like an attendee and walked around, and that show was wildly jam-packed, but that was all pre-COVID. And then obviously the world had changed, and a lot of those events had kind of, turned off for a little while. And then I think last year they started coming back online. This year they feel like they're a little bit stronger. And so last year we jumped in and that was the first one we did, was the Open Season Sportsman's Show is what it got turned into. Mm-hmm. Bonnier took it over at the Kalahari, and we did a 10x10 booth. It was all, I don't know what these pallets are made out of, petrified wood or something, but they're super freaking heavy. And it's really hard to set up, but I think, it just felt like a cozy booth. It felt very warm and comfortable and very different from, I think, some of the other exhibitors, the bigger brands that play in the bigger room. A lot of that stuff feels kind of cookie cutter to me. Yep. And we didn't want that. We also couldn't afford it. So by default we went a different direction. So yeah, it was good. Then this year we expanded and did a 10 by 20 and added some more merchandise, some sweatshirts and stuff. So honestly, it's just fun to see people interact. Can't replace in-person stuff. So we have a pretty strong digital footprint, and it's nice to bring that stuff to like real life in-person events. Agreed.
I did, for many, many years, I exhibited at like the Central Wisconsin up in Wausau. I did the Milwaukee Journal Sports Show. I hosted the Ladies Lodge in the Milwaukee Journal Sports Show in, 15 or something like that. And I stopped because it was so much work, and it's so tiring, and it's so long, and it's expensive. And I don't know, I guess I had the booth this year, and I really missed it. But after Friday, I was like, this is the part of it where I missed, because you're just, like you said, you're interacting with so many people, and they are your core demographic, 100% your core demographic. These are the people who watch your shows and buy your merch and listen to your podcasts and like your Facebook page and stuff. And I can spend $1,000 on Facebook ads and maybe hit my core demographic, but most of them are just looky-loos anyway, where these people are making the effort to come out and buy and, learn and interact. And it was just such a great experience. I had such a good time. I can't even explain how much fun I had.
Well, it's one of those things where, like, I've done trade shows for, like, I worked in IT for the last 5 years previously, and before that, too. I've been in IT for a long time. And I also, but I'm not an IT person. I'm a marketing person, working for different companies, applying marketing skills. So I've been at so many different trade show booths representing other companies. And trade shows are a lot of work, a lot of hours on your feet, a lot of conversation. And when you're doing it for someone else, it's doubly difficult. When I'm doing it for myself, it's for me, my brand, my company, our little tribe of people that we have, that our team, our crew, whatever you want to call them, that are on board with our ethos and kind of like jumping in with us. And additionally, the subject matter is deer hunting. Like, I don't have to go talk with somebody I don't care about for a company that I'm not, like, invested in. It's totally different. So it's still, a lot of work, but the intrinsic reward is so much greater. My wife will, like, be like, oh, it's so much work. Oh, woe is you. You're doing what you love. I'm like, yeah, I am. She's like, well, you did it to yourself. Yeah, I did, but it still is work. Like, setting up a 10 by 20 booth out of pallets is basically like building a log cabin on the fly. Right. It's not super easy. Like,
yours
there's a lot of logistics. You got to get products shipped. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So it's a ton, but it's good. It's like, again, talking to people about our stuff, their stuff. Everyone's showing us hunting pictures and sharing stories and hanging out with us and cracking beers. Like, it's good.
That's awesome. Did you have any goals going into the expo? Like my main goal was I wanted to get at least 100 new subscribers, which doesn't sound like a lot, but to an older demographic that doesn't even know what a podcast is half the time, it's a lot. So did you have any specific goals for the show?
Yeah, we had some revenue goals, and really we're just trying to cover our costs. And the bigger it gets, the more costly it gets. So that's kind of a moving target, or those numbers are coupled together. Like, our cost last year was significantly less.
Right.
And we made less, but this year our cost is more and we made more, but it still kind of matched up pretty tightly. So, that certainly is a goal. There's also the, nebulous long tail of this stuff that you can't measure. I mean, we did, I think, close to 200 orders. So there's 200 more billboards walking around. We had a really great idea Sunday that we didn't think of the rest of the weekend, unfortunately, but we said, while you're in our booth, if you want a free sticker, subscribe to our YouTube. We're trying to grow that. And I think we got 60 new YouTube subs, a day late and a dollar short. We probably could have capitalized on it a little bit better.
Yeah.
That's, we launched this new show in January, so we're trying to get awareness raised for that and get people to see kind of how we spend our season, which is a shit show. But again, it's relatable. Like, my wife is pretty mad that our garage made it out onto the internet, but a lot of the comments are, dude, that's everyone's garage come hunting season, because no one's trying to do chores around the house. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Right? Ain't that the truth?
So yeah, no, the goals were just, talk to people, spend time with people, hang out, and it's a numbers game. just like you said, you could put $1,000 into a Facebook ad. At the end of the day, there's a funnel. There's top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom funnel. You pay so much to reach people. A certain percentage of them will take action. You get curious, and a certain percentage of those people will follow through with taking some sort of conversion, like buying a sticker, hat, sweatshirt, whatever. And those numbers in person versus digital seem to be pretty much the same. So yeah, for like every 1,000 people we reach, we sell $100. Essentially, is the rule of thumb there. So if we want to sell 1,000, we need to see 10,000 people, kind of thing, or something like that. I'm probably not doing the math right because I don't handle that part of the business, but there's some rule of thumb there that ends up working out.
I know. I was pretty aggressive in my approach with just like bombarding people with, hey, do you listen to podcasts? Subscribe to mine. I had like the QR code. I couldn't have made it any more easier for you. Literally telling them that. And I was pretty impressed with how many people were like, oh, I have Spotify. I'll give it a listen. Blah, 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 blah. I was pretty blown away. I hit my goal times at least 3. My stats when were looking at the downloads, I was like, holy crap, this is, fuck you, Facebook and Twitter ads. I'm just gonna.
We're banned from Facebook. Like, Facebook restricted our page. We're not allowed to advertise there.
Oh my god.
So we've been putting all our ad dollars in TikTok because that's the only one that'll take our money right now. That makes sense. Right. And we have a big following there. So. See,
TikTok. See, you guys do a lot of the video stuff that I just don't. I don't know. Maybe because I'm a girl, so
we found our groove. Like we just found our groove. We found a modality that works for us. I think a lot of people are doing that now. I think at some point that'll get fatiguing for people to keep consuming it that way. But we're trying to increase the mix or like the type of content we put out. So with the show that we started, we can pull content from that and grab little clips and things like that. Clips from the podcast and so forth. So yeah.
I watch a lot of these videos and these women, and they all have their makeup perfect and their hair perfect, and I'm like, here I sit in my sweatpants and my hair in a bun with no makeup. Yeah, no video for Carrie Jean. So, like, video's a whole other animal, and I love watching you guys just do a really great job, so kudos. I think you guys are really spot on with a lot of it, and it's exciting to watch the growth, too. So,
it's nice that we have a team. Like, there's more of us. There's a few of us, so it's cool that we can, like, I don't know, lean on each other collectively.
Well, it is, because then it's not just one person doing everything.
Yeah, that's what it was in the beginning, and
I know
it's fine. But I also, when I was starting out in the beginning, I was young, and I thought I could do it all, and that's true to a point. And then eventually, I realized there's strength in teamwork and numbers, and I don't need to do it all. So now it's changed.
Yeah. How did you go about finding and forming your team?
It kind of happenstance happened. Like, somewhere along the way, Greg Tubbs, who's now a really good friend of mine, who I probably talk to every single day, he was a listener. He called into the Where to Hunt podcast, shared some stories, invited me to go shoot, bow leagues with him. And I subbed in once. I showed up without any arrows, so I bought some on the spot and shot that night, and I did okay, which is funny because everyone there is pretty serious. I was like, I don't even have arrows. He's like, geez, man. I'm like, I could probably use some help with this stuff. And, we started a podcast together with another buddy called Huntland, HNTLND. That lasted for a little while before apparently we pissed some people off in the market. We're unaware of some ties one of the guys had with like a non-compete and what we were talking about. So that got turned off pretty quick because I wasn't trying to deal with that type of drama. Right. And so then the one guy dropped off altogether, which is fine. It's in his best interest. And then Greg was with us on that. And I was like, well, if you want to come on to the Where to Hunt one with me, like, more than welcome to. Just know that I'm just thinking like a bus ride across the country. Like, I'm going to this destination. You can hop on, and I'm going to go anyways. You can just come along with me. If you ever want to get off, you can get off. If you want to stay on, you can stay on. And he stayed on for over 2 years now. And so that was number one. And then somewhere along the way, another listener, Tyler, reached out via like Instagram. He happened to live in my same community, Oconomowoc. We got coffee together. And I was a bit of a domain hoarder, and I was like, yeah, I have this domain, Okayest Hunter. I have an idea of what I want to do with this, but I can't do it. Like, I won't do it if I don't have help.
Yeah.
I said, so, you want to go in on this with me? He's like, I love the idea. Let's do it. And so that was like August or September of 2019. So we just launched an Instagram page and started putting out some content. It started to kind of stick. We tested some T-shirts. They sold out. We're like, okay, well, this is interesting. Let's take the money from that T-shirt sale, pay for an annual subscription to Shopify for like $300, and let's start it. So June 2020, we officially formed the LLC and launched the website June 1 of 2020, and we've been going ever since. So that's how I met those guys. And then Greg brought on Derek Melchor, who was a guest at some point. He's great. And then somewhere in there, Greg also kind of brought on this guy, Matt Strime, who was with us at the booth this last weekend. And he is now doing a fishing podcast, him and Greg. So I think, I feel like am I missing something? This is my mind. And then Tyler just brought on two buddies to do a duck hunting and upland hunting podcast. So I think like officially, me, Tyler, Greg, Derek, Jeff, Matt, and Tyler. There's like 7 of us, kind of. But the core group is me, Tyler are the owners, Greg, Derek, podcast hosts, Matt's kind of bolted on now, and then these other 2 guys. So, yeah, it's just amazing. Kind of taking shape. Yeah, we got some other people that are just brand friendlies that love to jump in and help out and stuff. So, kind of cool.
That's really cool. That's very cool. Good for you guys.
Yeah, it's something that I always kind of wanted, honestly. When I started doing all this stuff, like none of my friends hunted. I was the only one. It's just me and my dad. I convinced buddies to go hunting. And now, like, most of my friends that I have are hunters and not the other way around. So, but I also have 3 kids now, too, so life is crazy.
That is nuts. And kudos to your wife for holding on the fort while you're off doing expos and
stuff.
I
literally couldn't do this without her. Yeah.
Right? Because that's a lot
it's a ton. Our kids are all under 5, so they're a handful. They're very dependent. They have big needs and big emotions. And she drove up to the Dells on, I think it was Sunday. She just drove up real quick and then left. Like, she drove with the kids an hour and a half or whatever it was, and then they said hi. We hung out for a couple minutes, and she went right back. She had to go to a birthday party with their kids. So she's amazing.
That is cool. And that's cool that they, even at a young age, get to see Dad doing what he loves and, pursuing his passion and just being a good role model.
Yeah, hopefully that rubs off in a positive way because it's, a lot.
Well, tell me what you got going on for the rest of the year. What kind of hunts you got coming up? Anything exciting?
I got a turkey tag, a leftover for the end of May. I'll try that out again. I didn't have any luck last year. I just went once. We'll try that again. We hired a producer and a videographer, so we have some content, like ideas that we want to pair up with some hunts and get our group together to do some fun stuff. We're going to do it anyways. So the value is like, hey, we're going to do these hunts. Can you come and run camera?
Right.
We're not trying to do self-filming because we all suck at it.
Because it sucks, period.
And then whitetail, like, yeah, I've tried it. It's not fun. I don't do good with that. I can barely kill a deer as it is. I don't need anything else. Making it harder.
Seriously.
So, maybe a turkey hunt. Well, I will do at least one turkey hunt, and then maybe a couple more. We'll see, and then whitetail, and that's kind of it for me. Like, maybe I'll do a rabbit hunt or a squirrel hunt or something. Like, I'll do something else. Might do pheasant. I'm not really into much else. I just mostly care about deer. I don't really care about all these other e-brained animals. I just want to chase the wily whitetail. That's what I'm after.
Right. Well, very cool. Well, tell the listeners where they can find all these podcasts and where they can find out more about you and if they want to go buy some merch.
Yeah, thanks, Carrie. No, OkayestHunter.com is a great place to start, kind of like the central hub. And then we have a Okayest Podcast Network page that houses all of them. There's currently only 3. It's Okayest Hunter, Okayest Fisher, and current, like literally today it says it's Ducklander. That's going to change because we accidentally discovered that someone else has that name already, and it was an oversight, so we're going to change that to Upduck, the Upduck podcast, which is a cross between upland and duck hunting. So it smells like Upduck in here, you know?
That's funny.
Man, what's up, Duck? I don't know, just weird name, but it's a fun one. Rhymes with upchuck, so maybe it'll suck and you can puke in your mouth. I'm not sure.
Oh my
but yeah, they all kind of take the same tone. The podcast, like very self-deprecating.
That's hysterical. Well, cool.
But yeah, follow us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, wherever. I mean, we're all over the place, and we have a Giphy account for crying out loud. You can go on your iPhone and type in Okayest Hunter, and you'll get a Giphy that pops up with some weird stuff. Listen to the shows on Spotify, iTunes, wherever. Totally.
Well, and I will link to all these in the show notes. That can be found at HuntFishTravel.com when this goes live here in like 5 days. So make sure that everybody goes, like, subscribe, and check out their YouTube channel. That is a pretty smart tactic, actually. When you mentioned that, I was like, that's smart. Like, here, I'll trade you a subscription for a sticker. Pretty smart.
Yeah, it worked great. I just wish we would have thought of it earlier.
Yeah,
that
right?
was our only problem. I was like, wow, we got 16 a day. Well, we freaking dropped the ball on this.
I know, right?
At least we got those 60. But I was like, we could have got like a couple hundred. Like, holy crap.
Yeah, totally.
So, oh, well. Live and learn.
It's okay. Yeah, well, next year, good little goodies, little freebie giveaways in exchange for whatever it is that you're trying to achieve.
Yeah. No, thanks for being a good host and having me on. It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's nice to catch up.
I know. I don't know why I don't have you on more often. Like I said, you live so close and you're so Wisconsin-centric that you get it. Half of these guests that I have on, they're like, what are you even talking? I don't even know what words you're using. You know?
What's a bubbler? What's a time machine? What are you talking
right?
about?
So.
Why do you like Miller beer so much?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, right. Why does everything have to do with alcohol? What? What doesn't? I don't get it. So, yeah. This will air next Wednesday. I'm gonna put it out right away. And it was good chatting, good catching up. Like I said, I always try to keep my episodes right about that 20 to 30 minute, because at 28 minutes, literally everybody drops off. Yeah. So I'm like, all right.
No, it's good. Cool.
All right. Well, I will tag you as soon as this. Yeah, I'll tag it as soon as it goes out there, and I appreciate you taking the time.
Sweet. Thanks, Carrie.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, happy Friday. Bye.
You too. Happy Friday. Bye.